Ash is leaving? Aww.
It's about time.
Honestly.
Fucking let it.
No, I love Ash, but it's about time.
Yeah, I love Ash, but I agree with you, Songet. So it's about time, and it's ironic that the person that's acting less autistic about this is the autistic guy themselves.
All right. There's been a lot of discourse over the last, like, I'd say 5-7 years of Pokemon anime. Of like, we need a new protagonist. We need a new protagonist. So the second they're like, okay, we heard you. We're getting a new protagonist. No, Ash can't leave. I'm sure
You know, I haven't watched it in years, but Ash can't leave.
Oh yeah, it's the people that haven't watched it in years that are like the ones that are like, don't get rid of Ash. Don't get rid of Ash. And we have other people who are saying like, right, now that Ash is leaving, I am no longer watching it. And I'm just there like, really? Did you do this when other protagonists got replaced?
No,
Like,
of course not.
Okay, I guess that's fine. You're not the demographic anyway.
Yeah, don't let the door hit you on the way out.
Right.
But personally, I'm not making any judgments about these new pro tags until I actually see them in action.
Right.
Well, of course, we don't know who they are.
Yeah, we don't know.
You
who
guys,
they are.
it's clearly Serena and Ash's love child.
Yeah, you have just brought the words right out of my mouth, Vex. There because
no, you gotta see, it's actually the love child of not Ash and Serena, but Brock and Lucy.
But yeah, a lot of people already are just trying to make it like have it be connected to Ash in some way, just because of the hair clip in the new female cat. You've all seen the image of the new protagonists.
Yeah.
I have not.
I'll get the image up for you, Songetsu.
Yeah, the names were like what? Rika and Roy?
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah. It's been a few weeks since this topic actually sprung across the desk of Kontrolled Khaos.
What the hell?
But took too big of a hit. But there's so much intrigue in this one fucking promotional image, right? That it had the entire Poke Twitter going nuts, and I try to stay off social media as much as possible because it's bad for my mental health. But every once in a while, you either go on a full-on trolling spree or you just sort of like go down a rabbit hole, right?
Oh yeah, and in this case, because it's funny because I kept saying for years like the biggest game changer was Ash winning the Alola League. Then the next biggest game changer is the Pokemon Journey series, and then the one after that, Ash winning the Ash becoming world champion, and now this.
Right. I mean, he has achieved his goal at this point, right?
Yeah, he is a Pokemon master.
Yeah.
He only caught like 76 Pokemon, but he is the Pokemon master. We'll
You don't have to catch him. You just have to show that you're the very best.
You know,
no one ever was.
They dropped the whole gotta catch them all by Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire. And even then, people are going back to that and arguing Ash can't be a Pokemon master yet because he hasn't caught them all, even though that's not been the slogan for like nearly 20 years.
Plus, that was not his goal after the point in which he caught like 27 Tauros.
God. The fucking Tauros.
But
I remember that.
But yeah, a lot of people. I've just posted it in the modcast VC, so you can see it. Songetsu. But yeah, a lot of people are saying, "Oh, the new girl's going to be related to Ash because she's got the same hairpin that he had in his hat."
And I'd be okay with that in a way, you know, because it is technically a new protagonist. It's also paying homage to the original, kind of like Yu-Gi-Oh does, right?
Yeah, but I don't want it to be. I don't mind her. Here's my take on it. All the way is that I don't mind her being inspired by Ash. Like she saw Ash defeat Leon, win the world championship, and she's inspired by that to go on her own journey. But if you're gonna bring in a new protagonist only to do the exact same thing that Ash did. What was the point of replacing him?
Right,
Yeah.
and I do agree with that too. I'm just like I do kind of like the way Yu-Gi-Oh handles things, and paying homage to the original series, but all the while keeping a new protagonist every generation since like GX, right? I do like
Yeah.
that. I like that, but at the same time, like these are two very separate audiences. There is obviously the crossover because, like, clearly all of us have watched both anime at some point, but they are two different core demographics at the end of the day. You have the Pokemon fans who go rabid and buy up entire stocks of Pokemon cards, and then you have Yu-Gi-Oh fans who, argue and bitch about the fact that this 25-year-old card is now $387.62.
Well, of course it is. Like, it's super old and it doesn't have that many reprints. That's how cards work.
I just pulled that number out of my ass.
Or like saying, like, what, this obscure like archetype that was garbage when it was first released.
Give me more Kokimeru support, goddammit.
This archetype that was supposed to be pack filler.
I've seen that tweet. Like, I want more Kokimeru support. I'm like, why though? Why? It was dog shit back in the day. It's dog shit now.
Right. You should have been playing Duel Links. That's where it was good.
Yeah. Yeah. It has a bear that. And it has a bear that looks like it's the only safe for work thing on some furry's DeviantArt page.
I only played Duel Links for about 5 minutes, and then I was like, "Yeah, this is not for me."
Same here.
It very much.
I would just recommend start when they like have like the mini packs, like especially when they have like a good one, and then roll for it. Then that way you get like a decent deck for not much. Like right now.
Oh, I'm sure.
I am
right
not
now.
Sponsored by Konami, but I wish I was.
No, please,
No,
Konami.
Oh, crap. Sorry.
Konami, please give me a check. I'll shill for you. I'll shill for your pachinko machine.
Wait a second. Has it been 10 minutes?
It has been 7 minutes 40 seconds. I also have to turn
crap.
my mic down.
Crap. So, I'm sorry.
You're good. Mike and Ox, let's turn you down a few decibels there because mine is peaking. But yeah, no, we're still peaking. What? Give me like 2 seconds, you guys. You take over for a moment.
Gotcha.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, my overall opinion, like somebody actually brought up a good point of what they could actually do with the new series if they really want Ash to be like an overall presence in the series. Somebody mentioned like that I watched on a live stream. Make Ash's daughter be Nimona from the new games because she is basically a female Ash.
That is a pretty cool idea, and there we go. We're out of the red finally.
So Ash's daughter is the rival character, not actually the protagonist.
I like that. But what that would give into is like kind of painting Ash in a bad light. Maybe he spawned, this toxic competitive nature.
No, she's not in the game. She's not toxic in the slightest. She is just really over. She's
just overzealous about Pokemon battling.
Overzealous, like she's like, "Hey, do you want to have a Pokemon battle? Hey, do you want to have a Pokemon battle? Do you want to have a Pokemon battle?"
Okay, so she's kind of like, what was it, Barry from Diamond and Pearl?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But literally everyone was comparing her to Ash. Like to the point that people were saying, "Oh, I wish Ash was in the series now because then they would be best friends, possible love interests."
I was thinking of more of the angle in which like Ash would eventually become like a Pokemon professor himself.
Yeah.
See that influence from like the professors like before him, like helping him out. Like Professor Cooey and Oak.
Yeah, there was a lot of angles I thought
Oak
they were
was
going
too
to take.
busy shagging his mom.
Yeah, there was a lot of angles that I thought they were going to take with Ash in the new series, like becoming a teacher at the academy in Paldea, or becoming a mentor to a new protagonist.
Yeah, I can see those two. You can see the contrast between like how he started and like how he's at this new position.
Yeah, but go ahead, Vex.
Oh, I really do want to see like more of that Pokemon Professor influence in the new series, because it is an interesting side of the Pokemon universe that we don't really explore too much, right? Like, we know that they're kind of just there exploring different aspects of like evolution, or we're exploring like how different, types of regions. Why is this mic still in the red after all this time? I'm going to have to back off a little bit here, because I've got it down as low as I'm comfortable having this audio. But we do have like now like the Trustalization in Scarlet and Violet. We've had like explorations into like the Mega Evolutions, but we never really touch on it past the like this is an overarching plot for this region. I'm
trying to
What's
say
everybody's opinion on the shiny hats? I think they're adorable.
the shiny hats.
Yeah,
Terrestrialization.
Yeah.
Oh, terrestrialization. It's okay, but it can be a bit annoying at times.
I thought it was a cool gimmick.
I think it's really cool.
I think it's one of the better gimmicks for a while.
I loved
that, and I loved Z moves also, but
I liked
some
Mega
of them
Evolutions.
Gigantamax and whatnot, like Gigantamax, or D-Max, whatever it was called, was just it was just Mega Evolution plus Z moves, and then it was like, oh, we'll give you also 100 more HP.
No, you know what it was. You know what Dynamax was. It was the game developers going back and watching Island of the Giant Pokemon.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong, but I do find Terrestrialization being one of the better gimmicks in Mega Evolutions. I wasn't a huge fan of Z moves. I know it was a mixed spread there, like Zangetsu liking them, and a couple of my buddies found them to be the best. But I just okay, it's a powered up move, cool, whatever.
It's also slightly different if you used it with status moves, so you can use it for status. You can use it to get outrageous boost the attack, or you could just nuke somebody. There are ways you could use it.
It was pretty versatile and competitive.
I just like the funny dances.
Oh god, the fucking dances were so stupid. I love that. I love that aspect too. You're right. But as long as my boy Gengar gets all of the support, whatever it is, I'm happy. I say as I look over to my Amazon cart, not wanting to spend $139 on a Mega Gengar plush right now.
Speaking of that,
you know you do.
I'm trying to say
we get a Mecha Gengar, we got the Tyranitar and whatnot.
Because I'm going to be off for a month right now in February. I'm trying to save every penny I can because I'm unpaid for that entire month.
Oh god.
They're like, yes, please take time off and work on your mental health, but also we're not fucking paying you, so yay.
And sadly, that's why America fails to recognize the awesomeness of the pay system in the UK.
I realize it. They just don't want to do it, Luke.
They could pay if I took medical leave of absence instead of personal leave of absence, they'd pay me. But it's going through this 75,000 loopholes to get a medical leave of absence in America. It's just ridiculous. So I'm like, fuck it, I'll just sit on my ass unpaid for a month and play video games and work on the third channel. That's my goal. Maybe a Scarlet and Violet Nuzlocke?
Maybe. Have you played Scarlet and
I
Violet
have
yet,
not,
Rex?
other than
Ooh,
like
a blind Nuzlocke. Let's go.
other than playing like for 20 minutes on our security guy's Switch while we were waiting on the building to open up. Like that's about the extent of my experience with Scarlet and Violet, and I find it absolutely endearing. What I don't find endearing is getting a fucking Switch to run on PC.
I would say don't do a Nuzlocke. Just do like a
blind playthrough. Yeah.
Live playthrough of it, because I've got to say,
so does anybody have any support the official release? Is my preface to this conversation. Does anybody have any experience with Yuzu on PC? Does it run good? The Switch emulator?
I don't know.
I don't have a PC strong enough to use it.
Okay.
My PC's about as strong as Glass Joe.
Okay, so I'll be experimenting with Yuzu, the emulator, to run that. Because I'm not fucking digging out the Elgato at all. I refuse. I'm not digging through like 7 boxes.
Support the official release.
Support the official release, but also fuck Nintendo.
Yeah, I will support it when they have another F-Zero game.
Me with Star Fox.
But go ahead.
Maybe that too.
Yeah, but what I was going to say was that, just do like a live normal playthrough, because I'm sure Tyler will vouch for me. The story for Scarlet and Violet is one of the best there is in Pokemon.
That's interesting.
Granted, it's not a high bar to clear, but it's good.
Yeah, I've been Black and White.
I would say it is better than Black and White story.
That's what I'm saying. Other than Black and White,
Bullshit.
what other great ones is it to compare to?
Emerald?
Sun and Moons.
Sun and Moon was interesting, but it wasn't like really.
Yeah, it wasn't like.
Which is kind of ironic, considering what happens in Scarlet and Violet is similar to what happens in Sun and Moon.
Yeah, but it's all about execution. Really.
Yeah. But yeah, why? I've got to ask you before I forget. Why do you think Black and White story is better, Tyler, than Scarlet and Violet's?
Maybe because of the themes it tackles, and it goes more into like the meta morality side of Pokemon training. Until Get turns around and decides to be, nah, fuck that, I'm gonna take over the world.
Well, that's the thing. That's why I enjoy Scarlet and Violet's story more than Black and White's, because of the themes that are presented, and also for the fact that you get 3 storylines to follow, which all culminate in one of the best reveals in Pokemon ever.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Yeah, not going to spoil it for Vex, but if this new series wants to take any inspiration, it needs to take inspiration from that storyline.
Oh,
well,
I've heard it's good.
What I've learned about Pokemon, great game equals not so great anime, but not so great game equals great anime. So.
Yeah, it's kind of 50-50, and also as well, these two new. Oh, what were you going to say, Vex?
I'm just exploring Yuzu while you guys are having this conversation. Don't mind me.
All right. Yeah.
Okay.
Just gotta say, these 2 new protagonists, Nico and Roy, they have to set the bar rolling really high, because you're gonna have people who are gonna be like watching them like hawk, and if they don't click, then people are gonna be like complaining that they want Ash back right away.
I mean, like, it really doesn't bother me that much, because they were complaining about that, like, oh, this is different, so it's automatically bad. Same thing with like Sun and Moon anime.
Yeah, and
I'll admit I was on that train, so and I was proven wrong.
Yeah, pretty much. What do you guys hope for this new series? Like, what's coming?
What am I hoping for?
Yeah.
I'm hoping that the female protagonist doesn't want to pursue something contest. Doesn't want to just pursue contest or something contest adjacent.
I don't
like contest, but I get your point.
Yeah, I don't think she'll do that. What I could see her doing is exploring is going down the path of like exploring the phenomenon of the Titan Pokemon in Paldea.
Ooh, that'd be interesting. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah,
and
as for the guy, because he's being presented as one of the protagonists, but not the main protagonist. It seems pretty universal at the moment that Liko's going to be like the new Ash, the new main character. I could see him more going along the line of the gym path. So like the gyms are still around, but like they're not the main focus.
Makes sense because that way they could do like the same thing they've been doing, and this time not me being frustrated that they got lost going a straight path.
Well, that's the beauty of Paldea. It's not a straight path. You can go anywhere.
Yeah, it's a donut.
It's a donut.
I now have Pokemon Scarlet's ROM.
Okay. Nice. I've got to say one thing. I do like Roy's design because of the little puff of hair. Because Tyler, you know that what that's a reference to.
Wait, Coco?
Yeah, for Coco's Final Evolution. At least that's my interpretation of it, because of the little fireball on its nose. So yeah,
That's a bird.
It's a bird. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's a fireball.
So we've seen two things from this last batch of episodes too, right? We've seen a lovely nod to the Butterfree episode where we get reunited with Ash's original Butterfree after literally almost 30 years at this point. And then we did see that his journey basically ends with him encountering Ho-Oh again.
Oh, yeah. So it starts with Ho-Oh and it ends with Ho-Oh.
Which is insane that we're getting all of these nods to the original series. It's a lovely little twist to honor that original batch of fans, right? Because now, for the most part, we're seeing like this hobby of Pokemon turn back into, we're exploring it with our kids, basically, for those that are parents, right? And we're going through like, well, this was my original, experience with Pokemon. God damn it, my DoorDash is at my door. I am the most unprofessional host today. I am sorry.
I found out to take a phone call.
I love that we're getting this nod to the original anime here as we're exploring this hobby. This has been going on for 30 years, basically, for the next generation. But we can all agree that the original anime did not age well at all.
Oh no, it didn't. It really did not. And that's what frustrates me the most about the fandom. They go like, we need Ash back, we need Brock back, we need Misty back. That was the best time. And I'm just like, okay, what was great? What was great about it? And
Ash did not earn a single fucking badge in the original anime.
Actually,
and
technically,
Misty and Brock were useless most of the time.
He earned some of them, but most of them were like gifts.
He
earned 3.
Yeah, he earned 3. He earned Lieutenant Surges. He earned
by cheating.
And what was the other one?
That was the Brock one.
It was Lieutenant Surge, Koga, Blaine, and the Team Rocket.
But that really shouldn't count because it wasn't against the actual gym leader.
Well, he wasn't there.
It technically does not count, in my opinion.
You can't blame him. You can't say
yes, I can blame him.
Win against in a gym battle if the.
I mean, we kind of had to play to that in X and Y too.
Counts. Like Team Rocket was there in place as their leader, who was also the gym leader.
Fine.
I mean, then there was Agatha. So you're saying anybody who goes to challenge the
I'll be right
Viridian
back.
City gym, their battles with Agatha don't count as league wins?
Good point. All right, I take back what I said. He can have the Earth badge. He won that legitimately.
Yeah, but he won half of his badge by bullshitting his way through.
Oh yeah,
yes.
Definitely.
And it also has like the same like trends going on as the black and white anime, which people like really dislike, but it's literally the same thing going on in there.
Yeah, it is, and that's what I feel. Well, actually, to play devil's advocate there, I feel like the reason why people were more annoyed by the black and white series as opposed to the original series is that at that point in black and white, Ash should be way more experienced than he is.
And that's one of the things I wish that would happen in like the newer series. The protagonist is more competent, like when battling. None of this. Oh, I go to a new region and I forget literally half of the battle advantages, like whatever my Pokemon has, and like my tech and techniques. Oh no, they're just all magically gone because I'm in a new region. I forgot everything.
Well, to be fair on that front, if you look at some people who are more casual players, like they'll play the games, then they'll put them down, then they'll play a new game. A lot of people do tend to forget. I'm looking at you, Tekken 101.
No, but this is literally Ash. That was literally Ash's like career like goal, and him forgetting that's
it's not really
weird.
good per.
That's like me that's like me forgetting how to read music, and I've been playing music since I was 9.
Right. You read music and then you go to a new area and then you forget all of the sheets that you've read.
Well, again, to play devil's advocate, between Sinnoh and Unova, there was never really established how much time there was. So I'm doing the Lumiose Trainer sack theory here that he took a break, and in that break he got a little bit rusty.
It wasn't like well executed. If it was more of like a new trainer was like tagging along with him for a bit, and like they battled and they made those mistakes like that often, it would make more sense.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but
if it was like ability wise, and it's like a new Pokemon, it has a new ability that he never knew of, and it did this thing. Okay, that makes more sense.
Or even
never encountered them
new
before.
Pokemon that have old abilities. Like, yeah, he would know how fucking. Let's say he's going up against a fucking Seismitoad. He would not know that Seismitoad would have Swift Swim. And
that is fair. You wouldn't know that.
But
better
as soon as he
examples like
sees
that.
Pikachu try to attack and Seismitoad runs like fucking Usain Bolt, we tell, oh, yeah, that's Swift Swim. Usain Toad.
Usain Toad. But God. Yeah, and the old series wasn't that great, and a lot of people hating on the new series for basically things that the old series did is just inexcusable, and it's one of the reasons why the Pokemon fandom can be so toxic, and especially when you get characters who, on the surface, if you look at them just from a surface perspective, yeah, they're not really developing, but if you actually look and study them and see where they are and where they ended up, you'll see that, oh yeah, there is a change in them. One of the biggest examples is the female character from Journeys, who a lot of people absolutely despise because they're like, oh, she didn't do anything, and I'm just like, they're like, really? Then you didn't.
What did Misty do, really?
Right, she did way more than Misty.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I think, and a lot of people were annoyed by the fact because she was just like, I don't want to be a researcher. I don't want to be a researcher like my father just to become like a researcher like her father. And yeah, I can see that, but at the same time, it's like, is that really going to be the end all be all of her? It's just something she's doing for now. The Pokemon fandom just doesn't make any sense half the time.
Agreed.
Okay.
But yeah, that's one of the reasons why I really want to rewatch Journeys to see, like, is it really as bad as people make it out to be? Because it really isn't.
Journeys is bad.
A lot of people hate Journeys. There's a lot of hatred for Journeys out there.
A lot of that. This is different than the seasons in which I like, so it's automatically bad.
Yeah, a lot of people were angry of the fact that in Journeys, Alon was brought back as one of the Masters 8 in the Masters 8 tournament, and people were like, "Oh, he's gonna rematch Ash. He's gonna rematch Ash." And I'm just there thinking, like, do you really want him to be his only role? Just to lose against Ash? And he loses against Leon, and everyone was bitching about that. And I'm just like, if he lost against Ash, you'd be bitching about that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Here's the thing with that. At least from what I've seen, it's not that they don't like that Alon lost. It's more like they didn't like how he lost. They felt Alon went down too easily, considering his fucking Charizard went toe to toe with legendaries.
But here's the thing to counter that. It's still going up against the world's strongest trainer as Ace Pokemon.
Right, a legendary is a legendary, but at the same time, like the skilled trainer should be more difficult in a lot of cases.
Yeah, we really do overhype the legendaries as well. Because
you really do. At the end of the day, they're pretty much just like a stat block. But I know, I'm talking about game stuff compared to anime, but still.
Right, like in the anime, there are these mythical beings usually. Like here is the god of destruction or whatever.
It's Moltres is super strong, but you a rock thrown at it, it just falls out the sky.
Right? No, in the games, they're pretty fucking useless usually. Sure, they're great to have in casual play, where you're going up against random trainer number 76.
Or
but
competitive, that's pretty much it. And even in competitive, results may vary.
Right.
A lot of legendaries aren't really that quote unquote good. Some are the box legendaries and Mewtwo and
Mewtwo fucking Hoopla.
Yeah, and it's go ahead.
Hoopla had a really great run and being in competitive there until everybody figured out how bullshit he was, and then they're like, oh well, we can just beat the hell out of him this way.
Yeah, and it's funny how people hype up the legendaries when if you look at say Pokemon Showdown, videos on Pokemon Showdown where people are beating legendaries with a level 1 Rattata.
Yeah, but here's the thing with that scenario is these people are mostly smurfing on lower ladders for their videos. Just for to say haha, isn't it funny I could do this or that. Those videos are kind of annoying because I'm half the time trying to figure out what's the point.
Fair enough. But also as well, again, people don't like Journeys because of how rushed some of the battles are, and particularly in the Masters 8 tournament. And I'm just there thinking
they have a point.
Okay, the only one that I will agree with them on that is the Lance versus Diane for one. I will agree on that. I will give them that one. They can take the win on that one. That should have been shown. That is BS that was off-screened. Sorry to spoil it, Vex. But here's the thing. It's the Masters 8 tournament. All these trainers are champion level trainers. Of course the action is going to be fast paced. It's not going to be like the old days when it's just some Joe Schmo gym. No, I shouldn't say that about the gym leaders. It's just some of the older gym leaders where it's going to be more of a struggle. These guys are champion level. It's going to take 1, 2, or even 3 hits to take down their Pokemon.
Like,
Well,
I get a little bit
even
of the
to-
bitching, you know.
Even to that, Lance versus Diantha had that fast pace, but at least their strategies were interesting. Like Diantha having
no,
Dork.
it wasn't. No, it wasn't Lance versus Diantha. Sorry about that. It was Diantha versus Leon. That's the one I was referring to. Sorry about that.
I know. I knew you were talking about Leon versus Diantha, and I'm using Lance versus Diantha to counterpoint, where you're saying like, of course these are going to be fast. It's not that we have a problem with them being fast. It's that we have a problem with them being short. Like for the first round, I get that, but like,
Yeah.
and I will say, I think Alon should have fought Steven.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough. I will get. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say it could be worse. It could have been like Golden Swallow.
Yeah, I have seen people loving Thunder Armor recently.
It is the stupidest thing I've ever seen the anime do.
But with that, it's funny stupid.
It's funny stupid, but like for all the complaints that we can make about the Master Saint tournament, it does give us two of the best battles in Pokemon.
I agree. Ash versus Cynthia and Ash versus Leon were spectacular.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Even though I'm a little bit confused by people who by people who are saying like, oh, why didn't Cynthia use there's no way I can get around this without spoiling it. Why did Cynthia not use her Mega Garchomp against Ash? And I'm just there thinking like, didn't you watch the battle? Mega Garchomp at that point had taken so much damage that it would have been pointless. I mean, not Mega Garchomp. Garchomp took so much damage in that battle that it would have been pointless for her to Mega Evolve it.
Yeah. But
yeah,
you gotta sit down and think with the idiocy of the PokeTube and PokeTwitter is like they want to bitch about everything.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, and also at that point, like they were obviously saving a lot for those two battles, hence why there was so many breaks and so many recaps.
And also the fact that they saved up a lot of the animation budget clearly for those two battles.
Yeah, particularly the final clash between Pikachu and Charizard. That will go down in history as like the best single bout between any two Pokemon, which ironically is against arguably the two mascots of the Pokemon franchise.
Yeah, no, like that's the annoying thing, right? Like we still think of Charizard and Pikachu as the fucking mascots.
Well, Pikachu is the mascot. Like, there's no way of getting around that. Pikachu is the mascot of Pokemon.
But,
absolutely.
But there was another.
Yeah.
A fairy.
There was nearly another.
No, I was doing the Star Wars.
Oh yeah.
But technically, they wanted like fucking Poliwhirl for a while to be like a mascot. Remember that shit?
Yeah, because Red in the Pokemon Adventures manga, his first Pokemon is Poliwhirl.
Not just that, like, I think like, well, actually no, I think most of us will remember like the Pokemon toys at fucking Burger King.
Oh yeah.
Like the mascots were technically the 6 golden cards, and it just was the wildest spread of Pokemon at that time.
The Mewtwo one.
I have or had all of them. I don't even know if I still have them. But I kind of want to hunt down like a run of them in the blue and a run of them in the red, like art, just to say that I have them again.
And put them in like a fortune though.
Dude, no joke. Like I was looking into just getting the Palladia starter pins for my pin board from the new Pokemon. Like blister packs, because I don't give a fuck about the card game. I really don't.
Me neither. Like if I was gonna like buy some cards just for collectors, like ooh, pretty cardboard. And that's about it.
No, like I have my dad got me a Mimikyu card because he knows that I love Mimikyu. And I'm like, that's great. I just, like, put it in a penny sleeve and it's just attached to, like, my Requiem for the Living fucking art piece now. And one of my buddies got me a fucking Mega Gengar card because they know Gengar is, like, my all-time favorite Pokemon. And I'm like, that's sweet. Penny sleeve, put it up, you know? Like, I don't collect the cards, but I didn't have the heart to say, like, it could have been anything else and I would have loved it more because I have nothing to do with these cards, right?
Yeah, that reminds me of one time when for my birthday, a friend of mine got me a pack of Pokemon cards, and I didn't have the heart to say that I don't play the Pokemon card game. I just accepted it.
Yeah, you know, I always like to think of, like, the gift as something that's really sweet and it's supposed to be meaningful and everything. And I get that they both knew that I love these Pokemon. It's just like I have nowhere to put random shit as I go throughout my life. I'm slowly trying to downsize even, like, my own personal stuff that I've had for years and years and years. Like, I have 3 storage units full of memories, basically, at this point. And I'm like, do I really need this random Batman figurine? No, I don't. Some kid can have that fucking, you know, to Goodwill or to fucking Salvation Army. Like, I'm trying to slowly...
Speaking of that, let's talk about random figures you have and me possibly buying them.
You know, Sangetsu, I'll post, like, as I go through those storage units, I'll post, like, hey, does anybody want this shit in the fucking Discord? And I'll either sell or give away whatever it is, basically.
Sorry, Tyler.
No, you go ahead.
Yeah,
no, you go ahead.
Side note, I've just got to say, I'm jealous of you, Fex, because Mimikyu is my favorite Pokemon.
It's the funny part is it's like this really random Japanese, and it's a fucking, like, I think it's V-Star. And I'm like, holy shit! I know this wasn't cheap. You know,
it's not.
But I'm never going to use it. Like, I have a whole suitcase full of, like, my childhood Pokemon cards in one of those storage units. So that's what I'm trying to get to, so I can list that shit on eBay. You know, because I'm like, at one point, like, I know they're probably not in the best condition because I used to go to, like, Pokemon tournaments back in the day when I did play it. I'm like, but I have no need for this. I have literally 7,000 tins full of Yu-Gi-Oh cards at this point that I'm slowly, like, making blister packs for Halloween to give to the fucking neighborhood kids. And, like, here you go, here's a blind bag, you know, of just random commons from, like, LOB era down to, like, I think Code of the Duelist, you know? Like, so, like, I'm trying to do that.
That was my first set.
I'm trying to go through that, too. I'm like, I don't need all this shit anymore, you know? I'm trying to, like, condense it, especially, like, if I emigrate, you know? That's the mindset I'm going into this with. How much do I want to pay to have my shit freighted to the UK or to Canada? You know? That's like really in the back of my mind, like how much more fucked up this country gets is like how much shit am I willing to take with me?
Yeah, that is always a question you gotta ask yourself.
It's going to be expensive enough. Like, I looked into just freight my PC setup. Just to freight that and just deal with the other shit randomly throughout the next couple of years and just put it in a U-Haul storage unit or some shit. And just the fucking PC alone would cost me like $3,000 to freight across to the UK.
That's rude.
No, that sounds about right. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Because I have to pay for it because it's technically a hazard and because of the electronics in it. I have to pay for the fact that I'm putting it on a fucking ship and, you know, shipping it across, insuring it. There's a lot of cost in, like, you know, immigration in general. But I never really thought of the freight cost till here recently, you know? So, yeah. Freighting every fucking, you know, random figure and, you know, the retro consoles and all that. Yeah, it's just.
I know this is getting off track, but what figures you got?
I have pretty much the entire run of the Batman animated series, the OG ones.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of duplicate old school Power Rangers figures, which I know you'd probably be more interested in those. There's a bunch of Star Trek shit in there. A bunch of Kenner Star Wars figurines. And the Kenner ones are in box because I bought some of these collection when I was in college.
Oh, you could probably get a pretty penny for them that they're still, like, decent condition, still in the box.
Yeah, they're in, like, near mint to, good condition. I'm not going to list them all like gym mint bullshit. They're not. They've been in the back of somebody's fucking closet before I got them, and I'm like, you know what? I'll give you $300 for all that shit. I could probably flip it for like $600-700 now. Because it's like first from Boba Fett figures, a bunch of like random shit from episode 1.
Yeah, I'll save it later for the talk about the Power Ranger figures. Now back to our boy Ash, our precious Pokemon savior.
So
how much of Paul
backwards
was in there?
Cap.
What was that, Vex?
Oh,
how much of Paul was in that? Because I know we're going to get to like our favorite moments soon. How much of Paul was in that like Masters 8 tournament? Because I saw he popped up.
Paul wasn't in the Masters 8 tournament because the reason he gave in the actual series was that he doesn't like huge crowds. That was the actual reason.
Fair why?
Hey, Kama, we're live right now. We're not live, but on recording.
We're just talking about Ash leaving the Pokemon anime.
Oh.
But yeah, I can see why Tyler would have thought Alarm might have been a good pick to battle Steven based on that episode that had Paul in it.
See, who was y'all's favorite rival? Let's get to that one.
Paul.
Who was my... Gladion. I liked Gladion a lot.
See, I loved Paul because he was a cocky prick. And that's like one of my favorite, like...
You can't want to punch Paul.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite types of characters. It's just a cocky prick. I think that's why I even like Joey. And I hate his fucking Brooklyn accent. Hey, you...
you gotta love the Brooklyn. You gotta love the Brooklyn accent. You've gotta love it because Joey would be Captain America if he was in the MCU.
He would, and
I
that's
love the ridiculous dedication that like the English team did for like Joey's World, in which they gave some of his like normal monsters the flavor text of the Brooklyn accent, which is ridiculous.
It was insane.
Yeah. But yeah, so what we've got coming up is the 11 episode epilogue series to Ash's journey, and we do have some information about them. So next week's episode is going to focus on Ash saving a Latias, which people are hoping is the same Latias from Pokemon Heroes.
I'd be pissed if it wasn't.
Did like Ash make out with one?
No, technically
yeah.
Nope. The Latias gave Ash a peck on a cheek, but people are debating whether or not it was the girl in the actual movie or it was Latias disguised as the girl.
It was the later.
Which I don't want to think. I don't want to think about because that reminds me so much of the ship between Ash and Bayleaf.
God.
What?
What now?
We all know that people back then used to marry Pokemon for some reason.
I don't want to remember that text. When I read that, when I bought the game, I was like, why?
Don't you remember that, Tyler? Ash's Bayleaf has a crush on Ash. That is an actual thing.
I nearly dropped my plate that I'm currently cleaning off.
That is an actual canon thing in the series.
We shall forget for now. We shall forget it.
Yes, we are forgetting it. It never happened. Nothing bad.
Nothing bad ever happens in the Pokemon universe. Why am I brain
ever?
Right.
Comment if you get that joke.
Sorry if I'm not gonna be like talking much. I'm kind of like have a Mine are cold.
It's all right.
Yeah.
Eh,
Fine.
But
Yeah,
so
you can just chill.
yeah. So a lot of people are thinking that Ash may capture this Latias, because it's all about Ash becoming like finding out what it means to be a Pokemon master. That's what it's called, aim to be a Pokemon master.
Oh God.
I feel like that would make sense because he hasn't really captured a legendary, unless you count mythicals as legendaries.
Huh. Yeah, technically.
Doesn't,
Do you guys count mythicals as legendaries, or do you count them as a separate thing altogether?
I would count them, but Nintendo doesn't. So
Yeah, that's the annoying part, right? Because it's weirdly like this middle ground at some point where we originally counted like Celebi as like a legendary back in the Gold and Silver days, but then they made this like subcategory of mythical, and now Celebi is considered mythical and not legendary, and that's why I'm like, well,
I consider mythical Pokemon as like legendary Pokemon's cousins. Sorry, I cut you off, Vex.
You're good. I'm like, Nintendo, you sold me Celebi as a fucking legendary back in the day when I had to go to fucking Toys R Us with my game cartridge.
Well, also as well, Mew is considered a mythical, and
right.
And we got teased with Pokemon the movie 2000 with the ancient Mew trading card.
It's so annoying when they retcon this little dumb shit, right?
But yeah, thing I find funny, like the quote unquote clone of this mythical Pokemon is the legendary.
Right? They didn't really think it through, did they?
No, they didn't. Well, Pokemon's been retconning a lot of things it's been retconning things since Generation 3 when berries came in.
Right.
I think it's just because it's just early installment weirdness.
Yeah. Also, they've been retconning everything. Like, oh, we don't know about all these Pokemon that are out there, and then all of a sudden, characters act like they've always been there.
Mm-hmm.
And let's not forget what happened to Ash Greninja.
Oh God.
Oh God. Hilarious thing of like real world Pokemon existing in season 1.
Yeah. Oh,
real world animals. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
And like cows and fish and
birds, like regular seagulls.
Yeah. So going back on topic, so we've got Ash encountering the Latios in the first episode. The second episode is gonna play, I think, a little bit of a homage to the Total Dial episode between Ash and Misty, because they both try to catch the same Pokemon, and they're like, okay, we'll have another battle to determine who gets this Pokemon.
Yeah, like we could see something like that. I'm just curious though, like if these are the last 11 episodes, right? Like, are we going to have a subtle nod to every like season in some capacity?
Yes, we are, because in the third episode we've got Ash meeting Brock and Silent again.
Okay.
So yeah, it seems like we are actually going there of like Ash revisiting everyone he's ever met.
That's good. So we get some closure for every series at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I'm happy with. The one thing that a lot of people are asking for about the closure, more than anything, is that please give Brock an actual girlfriend.
And please let it be Lucy, please.
No. Brock's true girlfriend is Olivia.
Brock's true girlfriend.
Lucy.
It's Olivia.
It's Krogunk, and you all know it. Krogunk's been there longer than anyone.
Who's the other one? Olivia and who?
Frontier Brain Lucy.
Yeah, Frontier Brain Lucy. But that's the thing. I shouldn't say this because it may sound a bit wrong.
What?
The reason why Lucy likes Brock.
Why does Lucy like Brock? It's been so long
Because
since I've seen that.
Because at the end of the episode, she goes back to her house, and every one of her Pokemon that she has there has the same eyes as Brock.
Hilarious.
Oh God,
Brock has beautiful eyes.
No, I'm not talking about. I'm talking about the way his eyes look.
That makes it even funnier.
The one thing that I actually want answering more than anything about Brock is like what actually happened with him and Professor Ivy. Like, what was the actual story behind that?
He doesn't want to talk about it.
Now's the time to actually talk about it, and
He doesn't want to talk about it.
the general consensus that
He doesn't want to talk about it.
let me just
He
finish.
doesn't want to talk about it.
Karma, can I
He doesn't
finish?
want to talk about it.
Please let me finish. The general consensus about that I've heard over the years, which I take umbrage at, is that Professor Ivy was a lesbian. And I'm just there thinking, like, if that's the case, then that makes Brock look like the most, for lack of a better word, homophobic character ever.
And I mean, I don't want to call him homophobic there, but
Worse, like, theories out there, like him actually knocking up Professor Ivy and running away.
Like, I actually had a more logical explanation of why it would be the case. Like,
Just have.
No, here's my theory about what happened is that Brock was going to confess to Professor Ivy, but Professor Ivy was talking to someone and she said, oh yeah, Brock's a good kid, but that's all he is. He's a kid to me. Like, she didn't see Brock as a love interest, she just saw him as a kid. Which he was compared to Professor Ivy.
right. I mean, we could also go like even the Chainsaw Man route. Like he went to profess his love to Professor Ivy, and then he's like, "But I like girls," and he's over here like, "Yeah, I kind of figured that at this point." You know, the Kishibe, Quan Chi.
That's what.
Yeah,
I'd be okay if we explored that though.
Yeah, I feel like
which one of Ash's Pokemon did everybody like the most?
that is a tough nut to crack because a lot of them are really good. I feel like we should go what we should do is go through the Pokemon of each region that he has and which one we like the most.
Okay.
I mean, you could go through that. I'm just gonna go through one.
Come on, what's your favorite Ashmon?
Are we starting from generation to generation, or just all of them all?
We're just asking Zangetsu right now because he has a clear-cut answer.
Okay, I'm just gonna go with Cyndaquil.
Okay,
Good over reliable. Whatever he was, Echidna. What?
he was a mole. He was a fire mole.
I think it was a shrew.
Probably.
No.
Shrew or Echidna kind of look more like an Echidna to me. I mean, Typhlosion's obviously a weasel of some kind.
Or yeah,
I think he's a badger.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was supposed to be a badger mole. It was the badger moles from Avatar, except they got the wrong element.
There we go. Here's a definitive list.
Now that I have said it, it must be canon. But I would say my favorite Kanto Ashmon would be Squirt. No, it would be Bulbasaur.
I agree, Bulbasaur.
Hell yeah.
Bulbasaur is awesome.
Yeah. Johto, I would have to agree with you.
Heracross.
I would have to agree with Songetsu, Cyndaquil. Because I will say, Cyndaquil versus Steelix, one of the best battles in the entire Pokemon series, even though Cyndaquil should have evolved at that point.
I agree, but Heracross.
I'm kind of sticking with Cyndaquil because I remember that Steelix fight in my mind.
I'm saying Heracross mainly because it was supposed to be, in my mind, Ash's powerhouse, but it just got shafted in every way possible. But it did have some cool moments.
Yeah.
It was hilarious when he randomly just tried to suck the nectar out of random Pokemon, and they're like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
For Hoenn, I would say, Hoenn. I'm gonna go with the obvious one, Sceptile.
Decent choice because Sceptile is awesome. I have to go with Corefish though because he is just
Corefish.
Because Corefish.
Yeah.
Because Corefish.
Either way, I've just got to say one thing. Another thing that I really want to happen is that I know I gave flack for this earlier when I said Alon should have been brought back just to lose, but with Tobias, it's an exception. He should come back just to lose.
Yeah.
Tobias, wasn't that guy with all those random like legendaries?
He was the guy with the random legends. I feel like, from what I've heard, this is just a rumor, I don't know if it's true, is that Game Freak or someone was getting pissy about people using Game Sharks, so they were like, here, how do you like it when a character in the series uses Game Sharks?
Actually pretty funny.
In like a different server, not like open.
I'm still going to be using Game Shark.
Right, no kidding.
Again, the obvious choice, but I'm going to go with therein for Sinnoh for Ash.
This is tough for me because I'm going between Infernape and Gliscor.
What I miss? I'm going with Infernape if we're on Sinnoh.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did I miss Hoenn? Crap.
No, you didn't. Yeah. Did you say Hoenn?
Yeah. Did you guys forget Hoenn?
No, we didn't forget Hoenn. I said Sceptile for Hoenn.
I said Corefish.
Who? Karma, who did you say for Hoenn?
Sceptile.
Oh, Sceptile, okay. Unifa, this is actually a really tough one because not really.
There's only one correct answer for this one, by the way.
Crocodile. Why? What was going to be your answer, Vex?
I'm looking like 3 feet to my left to him here. So I'm just going...
What is it?
It's Oshawott.
No, you gotta go with Crocodile. Crocodile has the sunglasses.
Yeah, he's got those dark glasses, so he can power up his darkness.
My poor little otter. You just
I kind of feel like that should be a thing more often. Like certain Pokemon, like wear like items on them.
Yeah, that should be more of a thing.
Agreed.
Kalos.
Goodra.
I'm gonna go with Talonflame. Talonflame was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Noivern was pretty cool too.
Yeah. A lot of people would say Greninja, but that's the obvious choice.
Well, I mean, the overall obvious choice is like picking Ash's Pikachu.
Yeah. Pokemon Sun and Moon. I'm gonna go with our man, the myth, the legend, the one who won it all, Lycanroc.
Ooh.
Slow clap.
I haven't watched all of Sun and Moon or any of Sun and... Well, I've seen bits and pieces of Sun and Moon. And,
The obvious choice, there's one obvious choice. Well, there's two obvious choices.
I mean, you have he had a Melmetal for a while too. Let's not forget that.
He still had it. It's still part of his team.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's just a part of his reserves in Alola.
It's just ridiculous that he has like a fucking mythical Pokemon just sitting there doing nothing.
And an Ultra Beast.
Well, no, technically Nagaligo went back to its own world.
Oh, Naganadel went back? Okay.
Yeah, Naganadel went back to its own world.
Yeah, it's listed under the released ones here, which is weird, but I get it.
Oh, that's remind me of one thing. Like, Ash never went back to get his Pidgeot, did he?
Which, again, that's something they need to tackle in this series, because We've had him reunite with Butterfree. He needs to reunite with Pidgeot.
Also, also you gotta go back and deal with Lapras too.
He did. That he did meet Lapras again.
Oh, okay.
He met it in Johto.
I mean, yeah, but he still hasn't seen this Pokemon in 20-some years, too. You know, it's a little dirty that he's just like, oh, one episode, cool, you know? But also, like, he really should just reunite with all of his Pokemon that he's, you know, let go over the years. Because he's technically have, like, Ash Greninja still out there, Goodra, and then, well, can't really deal with, the fucking Nagradil.
Yeah. What? Yeah.
No, I just mentioned, like, Pidgeot because he knew the exact location where it's staying at, and he never met back up with it.
Right.
Despite coming back home.
Well, to be fair, again, from what I've seen, from what I've heard, rumors about, in the actual Japanese version, he does not say, "I am going to come back for you, Pidgeot."
Translations.
Well, yeah, translation, aka like the English dubbing team.
Yeah. But yeah, just to wrap it up, journeys for me, or you're I already know your answer, Fex, for journeys, but for me, who do I like out of his journeys team the most? This is hard because I do like all of his journeys team.
Mm-hmm.
I like Dracovish.
I'm gonna say Surfetched, just because it's just the Sword and Shield Pokemon.
How about obscure, like, random, like team ups? Or rather, like, he had this Pokemon for a extraordinarily, like, brief moment.
And yes, mine is Gengar, by the way.
Yeah, I knew.
I was gonna say Haunter because I found it, like, hilarious.
Well, he technically does have Haunter now, just in its final form.
No, I mean, like, the Haunter, like, he got, like, before the fight with Sabrina.
Right.
But did he actually catch it?
That's why I said brief team up. It could have been caught. It could have been like, hey, I want to help you for a bit.
But did Haunter really team up with him? It kind of just followed him.
Kind of possessed him.
With him, which I found funny. Yeah.
You know, Ash should have died in that episode.
He should have died a lot of times. Mostly
He did die in that episode, technically.
I mean,
he also died in that one movie.
Especially all those times he got electrocuted, him and Team Rocket.
No, he didn't die in the movie. He got petrified.
He got Dr. Stoned, okay?
Yes, he got Dr. Stoned.
That reminds me, Mewtwo should have went to jail and got a minor stoned.
I'm surprised that's not a meme.
I am shocked that isn't as well, but I have not seen it. Somebody make that into existence, please. And at Kontrolled Khaos Studios.
Yeah, clip what Son Goku said. Mewtwo should have gone to jail because he stole a minor.
Oh my god. But, no, like, Mewtwo should went to jail for a lot of reasons in that movie. You know, you got the whole, like, attempted genocide of Pokemon. God damn. Oh.
Well, as Linkara once said, how old is Mewtwo in the movie?
69.
No. He's just a kid.
Yeah, I mean, he's technically created, you know, so he's not even, like, really... Is he responsible for his own actions? Are we discussing the morality of a fucking Pokemon?
Yes, we are discussing the morality.
He's fully sentient, but at the same time, Pokemon don't exactly process information like the same way humans do. Like, they have like their own like unique values, somewhat.
Yeah.
So it's like this huge gray area.
That is true. Like, their entire existence is basically for, entertainment once they get captured. So I guess Mewtwo wanted to free everybody from their enslavement for human entertainment there.
Well, here's the thing as well about that is that Mewtwo didn't really ask the Pokemon like, do they want to be separated?
Right. I mean, it's the same morality we kind of got in Black and White.
Yeah, I was going to say it too. Yeah,
because it seems to me that Pokemon want to be captured because they want to prove their strength.
It's kind of a bit of that, because you got Pokemon that just willingly touch the Pokeball in the anime.
Yeah, and they already like naturally fight each other for like consumption reasons anyway.
Yeah, it's like what was it? It's like in Pokemon Sun and Moon when you have Lily getting the Vulpix. She tries to catch it, she fails, and then the Vulpix actually goes and touches the Pokeball.
Mm-hmm.
And then he gives the Vulpix back.
No, Lily does not give the Vulpix back.
Oh, you're talking about Lily. I thought you were talking about Brock.
No, I was talking about Lily.
Hmm.
My bad.
Yeah. But yeah, going back to the topic at hand, I honestly feel like this, like we said at the beginning, this is a change that has long been overdue, and people need to stop getting their pants in a twist, because this is gonna lead to potentially some good possibilities down the road with the anime.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And again, if people can accept Yu-Gi-Oh, Digimon, Star Trek, Star Wars, Doctor Who,
well, see, people accepted Doctor Who because they got to stare at Matt Smith's ass all day. Okay.
Well, no, even
fucking David Tennant. Okay, just put him in anything.
Well, no, even back in the classic series, like people accepted it except for one era, but that era was botched
what killed it?
By micromanagement, basically by the one guy who was in charge of the BBC at the time who hated sci-fi, and
this thing that makes us all the money in the fucking
world.
How
could you hate sci-fi? It's so cool. You can go to random places and do stuff.
No, he was a grumpy old git who didn't like sci-fi when Doctor Who was on during the 6th Doctor era, and it's no wonder that he never got knighted by the Queen, who was a fan of Doctor Who. He was the only guy in control of the BBC who was never knighted by the Queen.
That's fucking hilarious. I love that fact.
And he's like, I don't understand why. I mean, yeah, sure, I killed one of the Queen's favorite shows, but I don't know why I was not knighted.
The Queen was just sitting back, playing her golden fucking Nintendo Wii, like, I'm glad I didn't knight that cunt.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, she just magically got like a Nintendo Wii.
That thing is up for auction right now. I shill bid on it because I'm like, there's no way in hell I'm gonna win this fucking thing.
Was there also like a blown up like Game Boy that was like on an auction or something? And that was in like a museum?
I believe there is.
It went to the video game museum, yeah.
But yeah.
Oh god, now I'm picturing the fucking Queen playing Mario Galaxy.
Maybe she was.
She probably did at some point. But also as well, because I'm looking over it as well. Power Rangers, they've rotated the protagonists for the last 25 years at this point.
But boy, were they fighting it those first 3 seasons. It's like, nope, we're not going the same route as the Sentai. Nope, we're not changing anything.
No, they did season 2 coming up.
No, I meant like the suits and everything. They were changing the suits.
But no, I'm talking about but I'm talking about like the characters themselves.
Well, they kind of had to.
Yeah.
There was no choice that they didn't, because Saban didn't want to pay him more money.
Yeah. So yeah, all those people out there who are complaining about Ash leaving, you just got to look at yourself. Like, is it really? Do you really want the same characters to be in the series for another 25 years?
Plus, it's not even that bad. Like, you want to see like the classic like Ash episodes? Well, they're still out there.
Yeah,
you can watch them.
They're still out there, but they're on 7 different streaming services. So good
You
fucking
can watch
luck
them
finding
even on the official for free, I think.
Yeah, that always boggles my mind when people are like, I don't want this change, I want it to be the same. It's like, well, they're all there. It's like, no, I want it to be the same, but I want new episodes with the same people, the same thing.
I want Johnny Young Bosch to fucking play Adam forever for me. Like, that was actually a fucking take for a while. It was like, I want the same fucking Power Rangers to exist forever. I want the same Yu-Gi-Oh! To exist forever. I don't want Yu-Gi to go back. You know, and I'm like, why though? Why? Why keep things stale? Like, that's what's so annoying with The Simpsons. It's what's so annoying with Family Guy. It's what's so annoying with all these fucking shows because they never change. It's the same goddamn formula year after year.
Detective Conan.
Right.
Somebody call what?
That was another thing I want to talk about as well. Like, I've said this before. Like, people are complaining about Ash still being 10 after 25 years, and I'm just there thinking, like, haven't you been watching One Piece? Like, in the publishing world of One Piece, Luffy's been 19 years old for the past 13 years.
Right? Like, you have series that go on infinitum, and you have them sit there and be stagnant for forever, and you still consume those things, right? But they never really change. One Piece being the exception, because
he actually did age. Like,
he did age,
but it took like a time skip, you know.
Yeah.
And nowhere is this more prominent of the fact of it being stale than the Dressrosa arc, which is like an extended season of 24.
God, fucking Dressrosa drove me insane when I was consuming it.
It was a long arc, like.
It was consuming, but it was fun.
It was fun.
It was fun, but it
not the
didn't.
anime, because the anime was a grinding halt.
Oh god, the fucking anime of that arc.
And the anime of early Wano, need I remind you the sumo battle with the
3 episodes later.
Luffy's still balancing on his.
It was like pretty much the worst part of like part 1 of Wano, but we're not talking about Wano right now.
I know.
We'll save that for another stream.
Yeah, save that for another time. But
it can't be worse. Like, it cannot be worse than the fucking Dragon Ball, like 8 episodes to defeat Frieza, though.
But yeah, a lot of people are arguing that Ash can't be replaced as the protagonist because he's based on. Because it's based on Red. I've seen that take. Like, people don't want Ash to be replaced because he's based on
Red hasn't even been in the fucking manga for like 11 years. Grow up.
Yeah, he if anything,
and Red
he's
hasn't
like
been in the game for 6.
Yeah, I was just gonna say he's loosely based off him, just design wise. That's about it. They're completely different everywhere else, other than we share like a few Pokemon with each other. That's about it. That's as far as it goes.
Like Pikachu and parts of the Venusaur family, and
yeah, right. And that's about it.
Yeah,
and also as well, if people still want Ash to be relevant to the Pokemon series, there's always the movies, because the movies have been doing the alternative universe.
It's always the movies, or you can make, like, I don't know, like your fan fiction. There you go.
Yeah.
AO3 still exists, people. Go ahead. Write your fanfics.
Yeah, you
have Ash fuck his Bailey for all we care.
Hey, accept that. Don't share that with me. I will throw bricks at you if you do. I'm sorry.
Wait, when you should Todd Snap on a romantic candlelit dinner?
No.
Well, you want to know something? Todd Snap made a cameo appearance in Journeys recently.
All right, that's been a great podcast, everyone.
Yeah, he was literally there in one freeze frame, and that was it.
Oh, how wonderful.
Please, God.
But yeah,
We all need Jesus.
Well, that's what we have Arceus for.
Praise Arceus. My goat god.
Yes, great wheel horse. Great wheel horse.
So, I guess the next thing we got to talk about is our favorite Ash moments from the series.
Ash versus Paul.
Yes, 100%. That was a phenomenal batch of battles. I think the Lieutenant Surge battle too. Pikachu refusing to evolve and just overpowering Raichu. That was a great moment.
Oh yeah,
Ash
definitely.
Versus Gary.
Ash what?
Ash versus Gary.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like the
battle.
yeah. Oh, that was so good, that battle.
I guess a lot of the battles in like Pokemon X, Y, and Z, although like most of like that anime I didn't really enjoy. The animation was great. There were
plot,
good battles in it.
The
plot wise, I did not care.
I
was sleeping.
A lot of people will take that as a hot take, Songetsu.
It's the hottest this is gonna be, but that's what I feel about it. Like most of X, Y, and Z, I'm sleeping. I'm sorry,
but I will say one of my favorite Ash moments from X, Y is the battle against Lysander.
Yeah.
Operation Tempest, one of the best things to come out of Black and White.
Because of Giovanni actually doing something.
Correct.
Yeah, that's another thing I forgot to say. Like, since Ash is leaving, you know who else is going to be leaving?
Team Rocket.
Team Rocket.
The Team Rocket trio are going to be leaving as well.
That's the part that sucks to me, you know? Because I love Team Rocket. I love how much growth Team Rocket has had, right?
Now, I wish they had like more growth as like them like actually doing stuff rather than just chasing Ash around. You know.
Yeah, you know what I'll say is that they should have taken Butch and Cassidy's advice and left Team Rocket.
Yes.
They should have said to themselves like, why are we even chasing Pikachu?
Mm-hmm.
Like, but you know what would be funny after these 11 episodes? Ash catches a Pikachu for them.
No, it would be even funnier is like they leave and then like Team Rocket goes into shambles because they're not doing their job of like beating the other teams.
I mean, the majority of the other teams kind of already fell apart.
No, I mean like most of the teams that are like existing, like they overpower Team Rocket after like Jesse and James like leaves.
And that brings up a very, very good point. Like, what happens to your Team Aquas, to your Team Magmas, to your Team Galactics, whatever, like, after the actual plot of an anime ends, right? Because
the most possible angle is, like, Team Rocket takes, like, most of their resources and whatever remaining team members, and they just absorb them all into one corporate entity. Whoop! You're just like, we have this policy of doing this because we love Earth or we love water. It's like, nope, you love poaching.
You love breaking the law. You
love poaching, so steal all the Pokemon you want. That means endangered. Like, who you think made them endangered? Us, silly. Like that Lapras is endangered. Re-endangered it.
Oh man.
I've got to say another favorite Ash moment that I like, which comes from Sun and Moon, and I know Vex, you're not the biggest fan of Sun and Moon, but I will argue to this day, the Stoutland episode is absolutely perfection. just the moment when Ash goes and gets to Stoutland and takes it to the Pokemon Center. It's just commenting on how weak this Stoutland actually is, because it's meant to be that. How heavy is a Stoutland meant to be?
I don't know, like a massive weight.
Let me look up the Pokedex entry real quick.
Yeah,
I bet it's some silly like weight to height ratio.
Yeah, it's
134 pounds.
Pardon?
134 pounds.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's a big boy.
Yeah, so Ash is able to lift this Stoutland, who's normally 134 pounds, and even comments on how light it is in the episode.
Well, look how fucking ripped Ash would be by normal standards, right?
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Look at the shit he's done in the anime.
He's lifted up so much heavy Pokemon. Like, some Pokemon are, like, really heavy. He's just lifting it, and I'm like,
and then he also chucks the log with just one hand.
And another favorite Ash moment for me would be the episode where he's trapped in that snow cave and all his Pokemon are just covering him. That's a tearjerker as well.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, I'm trying to think.
And of course, I'm going to go with some of my more obvious ones. Like I said before, Ash versus Cynthia, Ash versus Leon, two of the best battles in the series. Ash versus Kukui is still my favorite battle.
That's
Kukui was basically like Ash's dad, I guess.
Like Ash catching the Tauros. Like, I know most of it was like off screen, but it's still one of the most hilarious moments ever.
No, it wasn't off screen. The episode just wasn't dubbed. Because you actually see him trying to catch all the Tauros. You actually see him in the Safari Park in that episode trying to catch a different Pokemon. It's just Tauros getting in the way. So, anybody else got any other moments?
I'm saying it didn't show every scene of like him catching every individual. There's like over 20, like there's 27, 26 around that ballpark of them. So it didn't show every scene of them.
Yeah, but it's hilarious. That is hilarious considering how difficult Tauros is to actually catch.
And how broken he was in Gen 1.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Which is kind of ironic as well, that he got broken to the point that they have to nerf him, and then he gets 2 more forms in Paldea.
Yeah, well, according to the wiki, there was around 30 caught there, because I was looking through like all of Ash's Pokemon earlier, and I'm just over here like, to think all of the random shit that Professor Oak has been sent, and just immediately getting like almost 30 Tauros all at once.
I used to make this joke that like Ash was gonna retire and he was gonna be a Tauros and milk tank farmer.
Oh no! Don't mention Miltank. Do not mention Miltank.
God damn it, Whitney!
Because roll out.
That episode with Whitney, that gives everyone nightmares because of bloody Miltank.
God, that fucking milk tank was just annoying as shit. Fuck Gold and Silver for that.
Oh, definitely.
And people always like have this memory issue and saying like Johto gym leaders didn't have any like Johto Pokemon, and it was like, sure, they didn't have like that many on their team, but Whitney had one.
Yeah,
Whitney was
they always forget that for some weird reason.
PTSD. It's PTSD.
They want to forget.
Roll out.
Well,
Miltank used rollout. Well, there goes my starter. Miltank used rollout. There goes my fucking buffer. Miltank used rollout. There goes my trade bait.
It was like, oh, I whittled down your health. It was like, no, I'm gonna drink some milk.
Moo milk.
Oh, don't get me started on that.
It's a good thing, like they nerfed healing moves.
Yeah. I will say as well, one of before I forget, like one of my other favorite Ash moments happened more recently in the final episode of Journeys, when him and Go part ways because um and I think Red will like this reference because it was very reminiscent of when Go and Gon and Keela were in Hunter x Hunter parted ways, right down to the point that they were parting ways in front of a tree.
Yeah, I mean, that's a staple in Pokemon, though. It was like that one crossroads of the journey, basically, is, you know, your gym leader buddies will go one way or your partner will go one way, and then the other will be just you going to your next village or your next journey, because Ash was the eternal protagonist for 20-some fucking years. But I do like that they brought that nod back, too, because I saw that freeze frame, and they just, like, did whoever made the meme did an overlay of, like, the fucking Gen 1 anime and then the Journeys anime of it. But my other one has got to be just going back in way, way early on in Journeys and meeting Gengar.
Yeah.
Ash has always had this habit of fostering forgotten Pokemon. From Charmander on down to Gengar, right? And I love how Journeys has done this nod to that old franchise. Of like, here's the foster. And it's almost a similar story to fucking Charmander, where it was abandoned because it was, you know, not wanted anymore.
That brings up a good point. Like, a lot of, like, his, like, fire starters, most of them have been abandoned.
Mm-hmm. It's
I think
really
all
sad.
of them were abandoned.
No, no more abandoned? I thought some weren't.
No, because Cyndaquil wasn't abandoned.
Yeah, didn't he pick Cyndaquil at the beginning of Gen 2?
Sort of near. I mean, it was after Charizard had left, so it was near enough.
Yeah, so
I was just gonna say, like, a good portion of them were, like, abandoned, like his fire starters.
Yeah, which I'm glad they didn't do in Journeys. That it was Gengar that got it, because Gengar is, as far as I'm aware, the only ghost type that Ash has officially owned.
That's fucking wild to think about, but it was very much needed here because like everything else is just like absolutely bullshit, you know, resistant to everything but ghost.
Yeah, and that brings me back to like why I was starting to feel like this would be Ash's final journey, because he was getting Pokemon that everyone had wanted to have for ages.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I saw he was getting like the super strong ones that have been fan requests. I'm like, yeah, this is going to be near the end of his journey, and I'm so fucking glad it is.
Yeah, and nowhere it was cemented to me in Ash versus Leon when they were playing the original Pokemon theme during that episode. Mm-hmm. I was just like, as soon as that came up, I was just like, yeah, this looks like Ash's final journey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, it's time for him to go into that Tauros farm.
So, yeah, going back to Professor Oak and getting all his Tauros.
Yeah, start his farm.
And he could.
And having the forgetful companion be his assistant. Yeah, I love that. That's one of my favorite running jokes online of like people are just like mentioning Tracy and everyone's like, who? But you want to know what's going to be even crazier now that Ash has left? Is that eventually it's going to get to a point that some people who get into the Pokemon anime won't know who Ash is.
I mean, yeah, that's how time works.
Yeah.
like even though it pains me to hear this, like some people don't know who Yugi is in Yu-Gi-Oh.
I mean, that just comes with the times, though. Unfortunately, like I get that it's painful, but I refuse to accept that like certain albums are turning 20 this year. You know, like it's fucking depressing to think about. Like some of my favorite albums are like hitting 20. Kingdom Hearts is a 20-plus-year-old franchise. Yu-Gi-Oh's 25 years old, and I've been playing it since the beginning. On and off for being
That
invested
is
in it.
crazy. That is
And,
crazy.
like, I just picked up a Silent Swordsman level 0 pop to add to my Yu-Gi-Oh collection.
Leave a franchise for a few years, and the whole game's changed.
Yeah, no kidding. It did. It really did.
It literally did.
I'm learning alongside the guys, like, how to play modern Yu-Gi-Oh! It's fucking depressing to think about, but, like, I stopped when Pendulums became a thing. Playing it, and, like, Pokemon, like, had been that eternal one for forever, and now that it's not, it's like, it's going to be joining that in, like, 10 years. Nobody's going to know who Ash was, because they'll be growing up with these new pro tags.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Do you think they'll now do it like how it's done in the games? Like they'll have their 3 to 4 years in the spotlight, and then we'll get new protagonists.
Well, it depends on maybe 3 factors, I'll say. It'll depend on if they want to, 1, make it a very interesting, fresh anime every time, like a new core comes out, right? But that would also have to depend on how many games are we going to get in these lifespans now, because we live in the era of games as a service, so we can technically service the same game for 3, 4, 5 years. Get an expansion pack.
I would say if they're gonna do that, I would say like Game Freak needs to polish like their games a bit more before releasing them. Have a certain
level of
longer
quality,
window.
QA.
Release it, and then it was like, oh, we're gonna do this live service. It's like,
I mean, we technically do have a sort of live service when we did Sword and Shield, though. We had the expansion packs.
Yeah. But I'm just saying a little bit more polished because of like
we definitely don't want a Rainbow Six
Siege
Siege
like bugs and glitches.
Like there were
a performance issue.
Wasn't there like an early on before the first patch? Wasn't there like Pokemon wouldn't even appear? They would just be like blank sprites.
There was a laundry list of that. You could like look on a list on like whatever website you want to go to look for that. But
one of my buddies showed me a screenshot. Like it was just this random white sprite, but when he went to it, it was a fucking shiny. I'm like, what the fuck? So, like, before you turn Pokemon into your next Rainbow Six Siege or your Fortnites or whatever, maybe some more QA, Game Freak.
Right, like they have enough money to do so. It's not like they're Digimon,
right,
which like they have all these great concepts, but like Bandai ain't giving them the time and money to do anything with it.
I mean, fucking Bandai's sitting on .hack too.
Still a thing until recently. Like just last year, I realized, wait, Digimon is still alive?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been watching Ghost Game a lot. Like they don't promote it enough in the West.
Like the last time I saw Digimon, it was just a game that was just reusing like old Digimon. So I thought, like, wait, they're actually constantly making new ones.
They've been like other than like the new game, they've been re-releasing like a lot of like the older ones.
Cyber Sleuth was a great example, right? It was a nostalgia bait to garner interest.
It's still a really good one.
Yeah,
I recommend that for anybody who wants to like start into the franchise. Buy that game.
Yeah, it's constantly like $15 ish.
Like, I don't like a genre as well, like Gundam. It's just become nostalgia bait at this point.
Gundam is fucking incredibly. I mean, they're a lovely franchise. Please, Bandai, continue to give me game codes.
I mean, like you can be that if you want, but like it's doing its own thing. It's not like Digimon. Like every season is like doing like a new thing and then a new thing and then a new thing. It's not very like static, such as Pokemon. I know that it's probably sacrilege for like some people to compare like these two products or like two franchises with each other. But
they're the same fucking.
They're under the same genre, Monster Tamer. So that's why I'm bringing it up.
Right. But like with Gundam, it is very much like, hey, you remember this century? We're going to give you a bunch of stuff in this century and make it a video game. You like it? You see? Here you go. Here's a fucking Overwatch clone. But yeah, that's the more egregious one there. But Pokemon has really been nostalgia baity as hell recently. Like the celebrations packs, the fucking like Lance's Charizard Elite Trainer packs and all that shit. Like they very much are guilty of running with nothing but nostalgia bait. And it pissed people off this generation because they didn't put Charizard in the game. Technically.
Yeah, and that I've got that again. Once again, got to call out one of the anti-tubers for that Pokerath, who blocks me just because I was bringing up an opinion of, hey, Charizard had his time in the spotlight last time. He was the champion's ace Pokemon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's annoying, right? Because I love Charizard. He's one of my favorites, but he doesn't need to exist in every game. He doesn't need to exist in every fucking anime. It gets annoying when you're facing the same 7 or 8 Pokemon again and again and again. So that forced people to kind of adapt with Scarlet and Violet and change their teams up. Because you would have your Lucarios, your fucking Charizards, your Sylveons. Like, those are staples in most competitive teams in some capacity. One of those will be on the team, usually fucking Charizard being your heavy hitter. But it's so annoying facing the same shit over and over. So, like, taking Charizard out was a ballsy move because it's like one of the staples. It's one of the mascots. But you're still... deep down you're going to alienate a giant portion. So you put it in the fucking raid feature.
This is like new information to me, or like because I play like singles on like Showdown, so I've never experienced like doubles whatsoever. So yeah. I don't know how good Charizard is or not.
Like, around my scene is like a staple. I don't know, like, genuinely, like, how a competitive team functions, other than what I see on, like, what's meta videos, or a fucking Pokemon World Championship pops up on my feed because I'm subscribed to the YouTube channel. And we all know how great and wonderful the subscription box is. Here are 17 fucking live streams of Power Rangers because whoever runs the Power Rangers account does not know how to delist old streams. Also, why are you still running a live stream of fucking Wild Force when the entire season is active in public on the fucking channel? Please stop that one.
Because it's Wild Force, we have to do it.
And then I have like the 3 different language choices of like whatever Pokemon World Championship is going on, and then I have like 17 Yu-Gi-Oh pack opening things because I was doing that for content for a while and I haven't unsubbed from those people yet. But never anything I'm actually fucking interested in. But yeah, no, like. I love that we're changing things up now with the fucking the meta in the games and the anime itself. But we have to do one thing when we move forward. We do need to honor the past in some capacity, because that if they don't honor the past, it's going to lead to the show being this outlier to tradition.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I agree with that, which is why I'm not against Ash still having a presence in the series. I just don't want him to be... I want us to, like, miss him for a while. Like what they did with Yu-Gi-Oh! They gave... with Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, they had Yugi show up in the beginning and to sort of, like, pass on the torch. And then he was referenced... He was referenced quite a bit, but he never... made a physical appearance until
the only time she like actually showed up is like one time is like, oh, it's just somebody just randomly using this deck, or it was a dream. Never physically showed up.
Yeah, but the only time he physically
showed up, and we had
Kaiba
Man show up too, so like you had both the antagonist, so to speak, and the protagonist show up too. I don't know how people feel about calling Kaiba the antagonist, but this motherfucker is so horny for Yugi, he built a goddamn space elevator, okay?
No. You know what he did?
Or just say rivals kind of fits.
Yeah, he's a rival, but but like Vic said, he's got such a boner for Yugi that he literally built a space elevator. He created Thunderbird 5 from the Thunderbirds just to travel back in time to the afterlife to challenge the Pharaoh to a card game.
We watched like Thunderbird like one day, Luke. I want to watch it.
Yeah, we can watch Thunderbirds. It's on the BritBox streaming service, so I've got it. We can always watch it.
Dude. Oh my god. But like I think we'll have a similar aspect to that with the new anime. But I don't want it to rely too heavily on that nostalgia either, because there's a fine line. Look to Bakugan for doing it the wrong way.
Bakugan's like, you remember? I remember.
Remember? Or look to Star Wars. Star Wars is a perfect example. Like Star Wars Episode 7. Remember the Death Star? Oh, remember New Hope? Oh yeah, I remember that. Let's remake the same movie.
Not just once, but we're also going to throw a spice of Empire in it, and then we're going to remake the fucking worst scenes of the prequel trilogy inside the sequel trilogy.
No, they didn't go all the way because they didn't include Jar Jar Binks.
No, I want Darth Jar Jar to be real, damn it.
I wish that was actually a thing, too.
I wish that was
Jar
a thing.
Jar Binks would have been so awesome rather than the stupid reveal that we got.
Misa the real enemy all along, Annie boy.
No, he just has a regular voice. It's like, I don't talk like that.
Bitch, you thought I was...
But yeah, that is something I don't want as well to just be. And another example of it is with Power Rangers, where until recently they were too heavily focused on relying on Tommy Oliver.
Yep, like it literally got so bad that I literally dubbed the ninjas episode the fucking Tommy Jackoff hour, because it's what it was.
No, it was the Tommy Oliver show featuring the Power Rangers.
It was just them jacking off Tommy for a fucking hour. I'm like, guys, there are other previous Rangers that would love this. Like, I love Tommy as the Green Ranger, but they nostalgia market to the Green Ranger fandom too much.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Yep. R.I.P. Just like how they nostalgia market to Charizard way too much.
Mm-hmm.
But also as well, like literally in that episode, they only thanked Tommy for saving them. And I'm just there thinking like, didn't those other 3 Rangers come and do help as well?
Nope. It's all Tommy. All Tommy. But like, I really am curious though, like once we get to this new anime, how it will be received. Because like every generation we have this touch of, I hate the new, so I'm going to just fucking fillet the old constantly. Like, why didn't it do this, or this protagonist should have done this exact move that the fucking previous protagonist did, you know. Like, one for one, the original anime is what they'll want, but they're not going to get that one because like this is a new protagonist, a new group of heroes, this is a new journey. Or if, you know, the studio wants to be stupid, they'll do that. And we'll have people complaining about them ripping it off one for one. Well, they're in a no-win situation in their own right, you know?
Well, here's the thing, because I'm looking at the trailer right now for the new promo trailer for the new anime. It says a brand new dream and adventure, so it isn't going to be the same thing. They're pretty much spanning out, like, this is going to be all new, it's not going to be the same.
It's going to be a whole new place with a whole new attitude.
God damn it.
But you still gotta catch them all.
You don't catch them all.
I want to catch them. I want to catch the pink one that screams.
I think what I'm most interested in is because in the trailer they show the shiny Rayquaza. So I'm just thinking, like, what's that all about? That has got me intrigued.
Is Rayquaza gonna be what inspires the protag?
I'm guessing a lot of people are thinking like it's going to be an alternative universe, which if that's the case, I would that would be the worst decision that they could make. Like
necessarily, they could work.
It could work, but at the same time, it would be like, oh, we don't want to alienate people by making it the same universe as Ash, so let's just slap them into the alternative universe.
Yeah.
Could be an angle of like Ash was like in a TV show, like this new one, and it's like.
Well, I mean, they kind of did that with Red. Like Red existed in this universe via like a comic show based on the original manga, the Korokoro manga. So I mean, they could go that route, and then
it could have been like that show that inspired the protagonist.
Yeah,
but you want to know what? You want to know what I'm gonna be? I'm gonna be laughing at all the way, because there's some people who are gonna be who are gonna act like this, like they always do. The fact that we've got the female being the main protagonist, people are going to be like, Pokemon is
how dare you go woke on me with my Pokemon that is aimed at a fucking 10-year-old. The core audience is a fucking 10-year-old, you man-child.
Yeah, when it's just like, we've had the option to play as a girl since literally Gen 2.
But the special game in Gen 2, not the original. But you also have in like Scarlet and Violet the non-binary option where you can switch back and forth between the two. So I believe
people were going on about that. Like Pokemon has gone woke because you can be non-binary.
Oh my god!
Well, totally up to your. But again, that's up to the player's preference.
Right, like you can still just be the cisgender boy over there and just bitch and moan about the option to change it whenever you want on the internet and act like the quartering or whatever. But who cares?
Yeah, I found it as soon as I put it into Google. Literally first
quartering is like
this conversation is not for me. So I'm just gonna zip.
Alrighty, okay. Bye bye.
All right, bye bye.
Oh yeah,
there we go. There we go. I posted it in the
VC.
Yeah.
A boop. You know what? I'm not even shocked that it's this person. I can't.
Okay, I'm finally. Sorry for cutting you off.
Okay. Anyway, let's minimize that browser window there. But yeah, no, like as long as you were going to say something there.
No, I was just gonna say about the picture. I finally see the picture because I just remembered like there's an actual chat like in the video call itself.
Right, it's so convenient but confusing, isn't it?
And then I was like looking at the bottom, and then like looking at Goku, and I'm just thinking, Goku's just saying, it's like, why am I here? I'm like 80s protagonist.
Oh god. But let's slowly start to wrap this up because we're hitting the 2-hour mark. I think like the last thing we really need from like this transition period is I think that those last 2 episodes will probably be like the passing of the torch episodes if we want to go that honor the past route. So maybe we'll get like a little time skip if we want to go the like it's Serena and Ash's kid route. We'll get like a little time skip. They're just retired Pokemon trainers and performers, what have you, and then we'll go and just see like, oh, in the corner there's their little child over there playing with fucking Pikachu or whatever,
or an Ash action figure,
or an Ash, yeah,
or they could, or something that I feel like they could do, but I don't see them doing, is that it's not Ash and Serena's kid, but it's a kid who's hearing the story of Ash from someone who knew him back when he was a trainer. Sort of like what they do at the end of Fire Force.
Yeah. We could do that.
That sounds pretty good.
We could do that route. Like, you know, it was all connected. Every Okubo work was connected.
Yeah, but they hear about the legend of Ash. Like Ash is a legend at that point.
Yep. That still boggles my mind, though, to this day. Like, it's connected to Soul Eater. It's connected to, like, that other manga he wrote way back in the fucking day. Like, god damn it, this man has been working to us for 30-some fucking years.
It was like Eisen said, everything was exactly as planned.
Right? Fucking, that will be a thumbnail one day. That fucking quote from Eisen. I will make that a goddamn thumbnail someday.
Even though he's a very unreliable narrator.
He fucking is.
Speaking of, you want to know what would actually be funny?
What?
Is if all this time the narrator was an older Ash just narrating the story of him.
Oh, Jesus Christ, we're going Mega Brain here. Ugh.
If that happened, I'd be like, okay, I am like he's narrating the story.
No, Luke, I'm making you buy me a bunch of lottery tickets.
And then somebody walks up behind him, more than likely Misty, and says, "Okay, that part never happened."
No.
You still never replaced my bicycle.
Where's my bike?
Nurse Joy fixed it.
30 years later.
Nurse Joy fixed the bike. That plot point has ended.
Let us have our minor breaks.
She broke it again and said, "No, you promised to fix it yourself. Now fix it."
But no. It would be absolutely hilarious if it turned out the narrator was Ash all along, telling the story of his journey to the students at Paldea.
Mm-hmm.
That would be hilarious. But in all honesty, we need to see a passing of the torch, and also let the audience know that this is a new era, but it's gonna be a wild ride either way, even if Ash is not in it.
To sum it all up, like, not all change is bad. There you go.
Yeah, not all change is bad, and everyone needs to accept that and move on.
And chill pill, like you could still like watch the old shows.
Right.
You could still buy like the cards and the whatnot.
Yeah.
The thing is, we don't even know like what is going to happen in this new anime yet, and there's already been so much judgment for it. That is so ridiculous that you have to kind of dunk on that side of the internet once in a while.
And because I get it, people want views. They're like, what's the best way to get like
drama? 100%.
Fear mongering. There you go.
Yeah, fear mongering, but also as well.
Look to Drama Alert. Like, that motherfucker has made an entire career out of stirring the pot.
It's not just him. It's literally like every like news station ever.
Yeah.
Who has?
Keemstar, like Drama Alert, like he made an entire career. Well, technically he didn't because he can't legally have a YouTube channel. Somehow he kind of got himself banned so many times that they're like, you yourself cannot own this, so like somebody else in his organization owns it. But anyway, yeah, like he made an entire career out of that type of content for, well, however long YouTube's really been a thing at this point.
Yeah, nearly been 20 years, which is crazy to think about.
Yeah, it is. I remember being on OG YouTube and finding.
I remember that as well.
Part 1 of 3 in like Spanish but English subtitled fucking anime.
Yeah, but my final words on the whole topic is that we've still got the 11 episodes with Ash. We should enjoy them while they can, and give these new characters a chance. And this is coming from a guy who has special needs, which are stereotypically viewed as people who don't accept change. I am accepting this change 100%, and all those people who claim to be Pokemon fans that can accept anything that happens in the games are not accepting this one change.
Mm-hmm.
Which is the most ironic thing ever.
Yeah, like I don't know how much of it's I'm going to use the term the autistic screeching, of the internet, or how much of it's like the like reluctance to see anything that they love go. And
I feel
think
like
it's a mix of both. I feel like it's a mix of both because you have the people that want the reactionary content clout, but you also have those that are very, very emotionally attached to these characters, and I get that. I really do.
I really get that. Like, I was so... it took me a while to accept that Dr. Stone had ended, but I eventually did accept that it ended. But I really do love those characters, and I'd love them to come back in some capacity. But at the same time, I'm enjoying new stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, we're very attached to a lot of things, especially those of us that are more neurodivergent in our, existence. Like, we get emotionally attached very easily. We get, attached to, the feeling of stability in a way. And I have my comfort media, and I'm sure you guys all do too, where I go back and I rewatch these same 5 series constantly. A lot of people do it with The Office. A lot of people do it with, like, Friends or whatever because they grew up in the era of sitcoms. For me, it's anime that I started early or were, like, growth for me as a person. So, like, I still go back and I watch shit that I know is objectively bad by today's standards. And I go back and watch the original Yu-Gi-Oh! I go back and I watch Code Geass. I watch Sword Art Online. And I know that's a divisive one, but it's one of my comfort media. I grew up in a household that was obsessed with NCIS, so that is kind of in a weird way a comfort media to me. And like those things, once they end, it's very hard to move past that. And it took me a very, very long time when Code Geass ended to go back and find another mech series. It took me a while when Yu-Gi-Oh! Ended to accept Jaden as a protagonist. It took me a while, for like those Sword Art Online era to move past and realize, like, wow, this is poorly adapted. This is very poorly adapted, but I still find enjoyment out of it. So yeah, like, these people kind of need to, accept that not every comfort media will exist forever. And it's a very sad moment, but it's a very much needed moment so this show can get new audience in. And Ash clearly having such a storied history was a turnoff for a lot of new fans because they're like, do I need to watch 20 plus years worth of anime to understand where the story is at? Obviously no, because it's Adventure of the Week style, but in a way they took this last series and tied it all together in its own right, so that to watch Journeys, a lot of people had to go back and rewatch, the Johto, the Sinnoh, the fucking Kanto era of Pokemon to kind of be like, okay, so where did this Pokemon come from, or where did this go from? So I understand the Pokemon Company wanting to finally move past that, and I'm very proud of them.
Yeah, I'll say a lot about the issues that the Pokemon Company have done over the years, but I'm really happy that they've taken this step into new territory.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and like you said, we've all got our comforts. Like, I obviously have Doctor Who, Power Rangers, Red Dwarf, Yu-Gi-Oh, Digimon that I go back to. But at the same time, like I said, I look forward to finding new stuff to get attached to.
Right, like,
and then
go through that process again. Yeah,
go through that process again.
And like, how much did it hurt you when the Promised Neverland season 2 was absolute dog shit?
I'm sorry. What?
Right. That doesn't make sense.
We have a rule in this house of Lord Luke. Promised Neverland season 2 did not happen. That was a fever dream that everyone was drunk on.
Yeah, I think that's a great place to end this one.
Yeah, unless Tyler had some thoughts to say before we ended.
Give these new pro tags a chance. Chill the fuck out, and I'm excited to see where this shit goes. Because, to be honest, the world is this is this show's oyster at this point, because
Right. Like
anything's possible.
yeah, I'm curious like where it will actually stream at here in America because that's always like a gamble, you know? Cuz like I think Journeys was the only exclusive ones to Netflix, weren't they? That was the end of their deal, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we had Sun and Moon on Netflix for a while, but they dropped that.
Yeah, I think the Journeys anime was the only exclusives in that contract. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but if that's the case, like anywhere can pick this up, and that it can be a really good thing or a really bad thing depending on how you view it. Because I don't know about you guys, but I'm really getting sick of having 75 streaming services.
I am so sick of it.
And that's why I mostly watch Tubi, because it has a lot of the stuff I want to watch.
And you don't have to pay.
And surprisingly, it's free. I actually would legitimately pay for it.
Right, like if they had a dedicated Tokusatsu package on there, I'd pay for that shit. God. Give me that, please. Just give me a Toku stream. Give me a dedicated... or just anybody, really. Just give me a dedicated Toku, you know? But with that, see you in 2 weeks for the next podcast. Peace.
Peace.